International calls are growing for Israel to delay its planned assault on Rafah. A top United Nations official has said the attack could lead to a slaughter, with people in Rafah already suffering greatly from Israel's military operation. Israel says the push is part of a plan to eliminate Hamas, a group considered a terrorist organization by multiple nations. More than 1 million people have taken shelter in the southern Gazan city on the Egyptian border. Conditions in the region are dire. Our correspondent has been talking to those seeking refuge there about what their fears are for what might be coming.
Ahead of a likely escalation in the war between Hamas and Israel, Akram al-Saidi is worried about what it could mean for the city of Rafah. Israel is preparing to launch a full-scale ground offensive here. It means Akram and his family have to flee again, this time to central Gaza after living in this tent for 40 days.
I started to unpack the tent. As you can see, we are heading to the central region because it's not safe here in Rafah at all. The important thing is that for many days, the Israeli army has been threatening to enter Rafah. We want to go to the central region, hoping that some of it is left, even though it's not safe there. Safety is in God's hands.
Anxiety is on the rise for more than 1 million displaced people here. Many families have been forced to move their tents from Rafah to other places in search of safety. Some were also left shaken by Israeli strikes that led to the freeing of 2 hostages inside a house at the city's Shabura refugee camp.
We were in Rafah, Tal al-Sultan. They were bombing next to it, and many people died. So we thought it would be better to go to the seaside. Otherwise, where can we go? To Israel? Where do we go if Israel sweeps Rafah? Where do we go? Give us any place. We are asking the Hamas government or the human beings in charge of the Gaza Strip to come to us and give us a solution and provide us with shelter. We are here, of course, and not going away.
As the war continues to disrupt the lives of people like Akram and his family, those leaving Rafah hope this latest displacement will be the last one, and that peace follows soon.
Well, indeed, some Palestinians are already leaving Rafah in anticipation of Israel's planned assault. I asked journalist Karim El-Gawari what's being done to assure the safety of those who've been told to evacuate.
Well, nothing, basically. They're leaving on individual basis. They were not told by Israel which route to take or really where to go. There are, until now, no plans for them. Netanyahu said that his army should draw up a plan, but we don't know yet what this plan is. There is talk that they're setting up 10 cities in the southwest of the Gaza Strip, but it's difficult to see how they do this for 1.4 million people. That's the size of the city of Munich. And also who is conducting this operation of setting up these cities, 10 cities, and who is paying for it? The original idea seems to be that the Americans and the Gulf states are paying for it. There's nothing, we hear nothing from the Gulf states about it. And also who is conducting the whole operation? The UN already said that it doesn't want to be part of any forced eviction of people from Rafah.
Mediators have been trying to broker another ceasefire deal. As you know, they've been meeting in Cairo, but I understand those negotiations have been suspended. What can you tell us, Karim?
Well, the high-level negotiations are over, and we really don't know the outcome. There are conflicting reports. There's some reports saying that there was some progress about what we call maybe the exchange rate between Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners, saying like how many people, Palestinians in Israeli prisons, are released for the freeing of the Israeli of the hostages. But they say there's a better understanding now. But also something else, there is one of the demands of Hamas that is guarantees for the end of the war before they release all the hostages. There is nothing, no report about it. There is Israeli media reports saying that actually the Israeli the security establishment drew up a plan for these negotiations that was then rejected by Netanyahu, and then he was sent his delegations to Cairo only in order to listen and to report back. The truth is, we don't know much about the substance, what is talked about. There was no Hamas presence, and it seems to be like whatever was talked about has to be brought back to Hamas, and we know that takes time. This is saying that they will continue for 3 days now, further consultations here in Cairo, but on a lower level. I think they're all waiting for the answer from Hamas and also from Netanyahu.
Now, you're in Cairo. Egypt clearly is affected by what's happening in Gaza right next door. What is Egypt's role in all of this, Karim?
Well, Egypt fears, of course, that there is a mass Palestinian exodus from Rafah if there is this offensive. That's the biggest fear. There's a lot of tension between Egypt and Israel. Israel is accusing Egypt that weapons were smuggled from Egypt to Hamas through the Egyptian side. It's accusing Egypt to block the aid. Egypt says no, the reason for the blocking the aid is Israel. And of course, there's a big concern now in Egypt about this upcoming possible offensive. The spokesperson of the government said if national security issues of Egypt are somehow violated, they might be even recall their ambassador from Israel that is there since the peace treaty of 1979, the Camp David peace treaty.
Karim, thank you very much. That was journalist Karim El Gouari in Cairo.